Yeah, hi, Zach.
How you doing, guys? Welcome, welcome. All right, so I see our teammate Godstack. Can you add him also?
Yeah,
There
I
is.
have sent him the request. Yeah, he's here.
There we go. Hey, how you doing, Chingun?
Hello.
Good, good. So it's have you spoke on our community hall before?
A couple times.
A couple times. So he's a quite experienced speaker here. Today, Sean is commuting, and then he is not able to join the town hall. So it's gonna be me who's gonna uh, be your host, and then feel free to drop the questions, and then just quick intro over here to people who may not know. Godstack is also go by Chingung. He's our lead engineer at Helix, and he's basically responsible for all the Eigenfire products and also the key user experience part. And then if we, I don't think our rest of the dev team is here yet, but yeah, that's just a quick introduction for Chingun. And today, I think the good way to go for this MMA session is just kind of summarize what happened in the month of March, and also what we are actually planning to do for April. How does it sound, Lord? Or is there anything we should go through?
I think this will clearly get us what happened in March and what we are planning next.
Very cool, very cool. So
Yeah,
today we are quite technical people gathered here. So we it would be nice to just go through some of the technical stuff, and then I see some of the people who joined the space earlier time. Bazaar is also jumped on a call with me. I remember our fellow from Eastern Europe. And yeah, I don't think I have spoke with anyone else. Maybe I'm mistaken, but feel free to join and speak once we go through certain things. Yeah. So yeah, just to kickstart, Chingune, and how was it for you, the test net? It's been a quite stressful but also exciting time for us to going into the testnet and Bardock, because we can kind of mention several key milestones. We actually successfully launched our Eigen 5 volt and Bardock testnet on the Movement, and we actually achieved more than 6,600 unique wallet address interactions, and validating very strong community engagement. And then also the product is doing a fantastic job. And then big thanks to the marketing team, who is also keen on engaging with the community, because we sometimes tends to get too busy with the development related stuff. And then just having experiencing certain shutdowns from the server, some of the problems we it's out of our hand, because it's literally we overloading the testnet and servers. But I think so far that was a big success. What do you think, Chingu? How do you think we did on testnet?
Hey everyone. First of all, thanks for joining today's call and thanks for testing the testnets. So, firstly, with our experience, this moment, Vault is new. It's our first moved product, and also Moment is fresh new, and there is currently no stable. And for overall, it's good to see people using our vault, and we are currently experiencing some issues with the front end, especially when it comes to retrieving data from the on-chain directly. And This is causing delays and slow loading on the app for some users, and we are actively working with the movement team to optimize how we fetch and display this on-chain data, and we are aiming to significantly improve the performance. And also, thanks for your patience while we sort this out.
Very cool, man. I think we definitely go through this interesting phase, and a lot of the good things happening, I think. And also we can just kind of go through what's like coming up in April. So we successfully wrapped up the testnet, and then we moving forward officially to Eigenfi Movement mainnet launch for month of April. And then we are working with several LSC providers, and then like finalizing key, like in a collaboration there with the existing liquidity providers and also the foundation. So there's a lot of good collaboration we're working towards there. And then we in the process of also how we can actually figure out the liquid staking part with movement, and then technical write-up, release some of the documentations for the transparency. And then also we keen on developing the milestones we set with Definity from ICP Foundation, because we are also one of the grant receivers from Definity, and then quite bullish on their tech stacks like chain key and how we use those interoperability solutions through our vaults across those Eigenfi vaults so far. And addition to that, we also in a very good discussions with Authentic, which is the AVS framework provider, and then we kind of anticipating when will be the slashing feature will be available on EigenLabs, because right now the only profitable revenue bearing AVS is EigenDA, because there are a lot of kind of anticipation happening around EigenLayer. Once the slashing feature is available, I think that's the kind of a pivotal step for us to intensify the development towards to AVS. Right now we are evaluating what type of AVS we want to build, and what kind of AVS operators we also would like to involve, and then just kind of setting up the strategy there. Because what kind of if we were to just build the AVS out of thin air, it would be relatively hard. But in a collaboration with Authentic, it wouldn't take us a dramatic development overload, but we could basically work with Authentic to figure out the framework, and then I think is a relatively straightforward process. But the main thing is going to be how we want to design the AVS, and that AVS being useful for people, because I think in generally it's not about creating this very complex solution, but does any type of solution that being useful for someone, and then also we able to capture this future usage of shared security model that we also inherently believe in. So those are the kind of things we looking at for April. And then Chingung, Sulte, Badril, and everyone at our development team is working super hard. And then bear with us. We might have not able to answer some of the questions, but we really try to participate, and also feel free to engage with the community moderators, Lord here, just give us a very constructive feedbacks, right? Also when you give a feedback, and also we want to understand what is the source of the feedback, right? So if you really want to participate the side of things, it will help us to actually understand where this issue is coming from. I mean, if it's repetitive issue that may not be on our side of things. It's also like yeah, I mean, also like it would be nice to engage with the actual like developer or like developer people, have some kind of also understanding how those like things are intertwined. So it's super helpful for us to listen to those community members and also like engage with the marketing side of things. So since it's a relatively technical call, I think that's like kind of like the message we want to get out of there to people who are quite technical oriented. I think we able to allow the tools and things that you can that you need to do buildings with us, and then we're happy to like also like encourage the developers who want to contribute in a way. We're happy to work towards and then give like grants and everything. So those are the things I'm just saying out loud, just out of my hand, and then I think also those are the things we have to delegate to, right? Because we want to make this project more technical, excellent, and then also people who actually wants to build. And I think those are the kind of like key things even during the bear market, because Chingung and I, we are probably the one of the beer markets people, so we kind of like feels more like a home during those times. So Lord, please uh, get on with the other agendas, and then we also get the community members who wants to speak here as well.
Yeah, sure. Anyone who have some question or anyone who want to ask something, please raise your hands and we'll invite you to speak.
All right.
So,
Well,
to answer Crypto Cramp's question, the moment Vault testnet is still live, and we are always welcoming new users to join and participate. So feel free to hop in and explore. And also, we have recently closed down some of our testnet vaults, including Ethereum, BitLayer, Cardano, and BNB chain, as those test phases have been running for the past 6 months. And we want to sincerely thank everyone who participated and gave feedback during that time. And the moment Vault testnet is going to live, maybe next week will shut down, right, Jack?
yes, we took some like deadline for this testnet because it's we want to like test the product, and then now like once we like have this people actually like trying to figure out to like kind of make this more fun for them to like getting more points and etc. I think those are excellent, and then I think that's definitely leads to greater mainnet use cases. And yeah, we are officially shutting down the testnet coming up next week to preparation for the mainnet. And then everything you like learn through those times are actually super helpful for us. And yeah, just hand the mic to Carly or Charlie. How you doing, man? Carly, are you with us?
Can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah, can you hear me, please?
Carly,
Yeah,
Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
yeah,
How
we
are you
can hear
doing,
you,
Carly?
Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah, you answered one of my questions already. I wanted to ask when the testnet was going to end, because I tried depositing into vaults, the Ethereum and the BNB vault, and I was told it was closed. And I was surprised. Can I ask why it's this short? Why the time frame is this short? I think the testnet went live on the 21st, and this is 31st. That's like 10 days. And you already said it's going off by next week. So can I ask why it is this short? Because I would have loved to, test more. So why is the testnet this short?
So the movement testnet's gonna be shot, but they, as Chingun said earlier, the previous vaults has been alive for more than 6 months, and then we also kind of noticed that there's a very smart, because that's also why I'm saying, like, I think there's a lot of smart people in our community that actually wrote a bot that actually just do this, like in the Chingu. Do you remember, like, when people automatically get the faucet at a certain time and then use the I wouldn't like to use the word point farming, but Chingu, do you want to go on that one case? I think a couple other cases that people actually wrote a bot on it. So those are the kind of like the one of the reasons we actually like, okay, so this is good. I think we engage with the community, and now because we don't want to inflate the kind of points as this kind of like a infinite number, right? We want the goal of the Helix development is that we want to interact with the users, and then also there are the points or basically allows the users to see what are the kind of ways to contribute. So definitely we will incentivize those people who actually come up with the interesting idea, but we just realize that we actually accomplished what we wanted to see from the testnet. Chingu, did you want to add on that?
Yeah. To be honest, our vault is the like our jobs like 30%, because our goal is the making the EVS ecosystem more valuable than just only stick with Ethereum, right? Like all of the chains. So our vault is happened very quickly, and we have tested our use cases like deposit, earn, and withdraw, something like that. And we have seen enough these use cases, and we are going to focus on the EVS part. So that's why we are closing the testnet.
Yeah, so we are kind of is there a guide for the testnet? I think we're okay. So let's visit that comments there, but just adding on Chingu's point, yeah, we accomplished what we want to see from those vaults, because the vaults are basically part of the bigger solution we want to create. So I encourage everyone from now moving forward, getting points is not entirely the goal, but the kind of difficulties that you could do with the kind of parameters we set with these products. If you're able to demonstrate this kind of key interactions, how you once the interoperability is available, what are the best way to maximize your yield using this, that, right? So it's gonna be gets more interesting, right? So Vault it's basically the very elementary incentive programs people to test it out. So now it's gonna get a lot more harder, and then the harder the level of those things, means that there will less likely the people gonna do it, because they even to further discussion on the airdrop, it's not about the how much point you accumulated, but we're gonna allocate a specific percent of those airdrop allocations to the people who are trying this testnet. And then if people or everyone is getting so much point, it's basically increases the airdrop the user's gonna receive. So when we make step by step harder people to get those points, meaning that people are able to if they're able to go through certain difficult tasks and then get the product tested, and then if you actually are going to help us to navigate and find a harder or there's a specifically vulnerability within the code, and if you're able to locate those problems, we're also gonna give those users incentives, because it's almost some of the friends that I have is do this community audit kind of situation, right? So it's almost like a community bug hunting too. So I think we as a technical team, we're willing to work on this kind of interesting campaigns with the people. And then Lord, if you also just for the future reference, if you have ideas to work with us and this kind of things, we're happy to support and then work. And then, yeah, that's the kind of like a goal we want to get there. So if that answers your question, Carla. Right, Carly, do you have more questions? Did I answer to your question? And let's add our, oh yeah, Eri's here. How you doing, Eri?
I'm doing great. How are you? And how is the family of our members?
Oh yeah, we are getting there. A very interesting discussion. It's relatively more technical oriented, and then also like we kind of like want to hear what the community members experience like while testing the product. So that's the kind of like touch and base we have so far. So we have 8 minutes left. So anyone has questions, concerns, and also constructive feedbacks to give to us.
Jam. No, Zach. So they are like they have been with us since day one. So
Very nice.
basically, yeah, I love all of them.
So Eddie, okay, should we go through the comments here? Lord, leaderboard. Yeah, actually, that's such a good idea. We actually could add leaderboard, so that would be also like a very cool to have. And then I think Junguna, when we are trying to get this data available from, like, how hard is it to like set up the leaderboard? I think that's actually good points there.
For the other wallets, we are trying to integrate the other wallets, but the problem is the wallet providers, because currently they don't support the movement Bardock testnet RPC, so that's why we can't add the other wallets. Currently only Petra and Nike wallets are available to support the Bardock testnet RPC.
I see.
For the EVM comparable, we are waiting the movements EVM integration part, because they are not ready right now, the EVM part. When movement team successfully integrate the EVM part, we can also all of their part. For the Petra doesn't get disconnected by its own. Yeah. That's the problem we are facing. Currently, like for overall saying, movements ecosystem is new and fresh, so some infrastructures aren't stable right now. So that's why we can't do anything right now. We are just collaborating with movement team. How can we improve the UX and UI, or retrieving the data?
And Kurt Crumbs, which vault are you using to get the faucet?
Currently, only movement vault and faucet available right now. Other faucet and vaults ended. Mm-hmm. So mobile, for the mobile users, the problem is the wallet providers, because some wallets aren't comparable with mobile, only with desktop version. And some people using a browser called Mises, and they somehow managed to deposit HSD into the vault. I don't know how they use it. It's quite difficult to use the app on mobile these days, these Web3 days. Sooner we can fix the UX problems. Currently, we haven't worked with mobile version. We are waiting the wallet providers extensions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Close it permanently.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
EVM. Yeah.
Mhm,
Go on.
mhm.
Yeah, EVM and then others vaults are also like temporarily closed for the incentives, and then also I think we should definitely like discuss how we want to structure the like incentives for the entirety of the testnet. I think also we should listen to the community and on exactly like in how we want to structure it. So this is not quite, I guess, that decided. We like would like to see more testable versions, and then you said drops is not testnet participator, not really based on the points. Yes and no. I think we are definitely like incentivizing people who with us from the earlier time, and I think it will be not very like ethical to just like disregard those people using from those earlier time. We should definitely incentivize them, and then but moving forward, I think it's going to be more what's the word I'm looking for? More sophisticated points allocations. And then also there was kind of discussions on whether we should introduce a newer version of those point allocations. So let's see. I think feel free to give certain feedbacks, because just to be very transparent, we gonna allocate certain percentage of the airdrops, and then those points are basically like have to be discussed as a community, and how we want to like set those allocations, etc. So that's the kind of like things not entirely up to our technical team, but we're gonna have more broader discussions as a team, as a community, and also Lord, let us know what we really want to do with this approach, and would love to also hear people who wants to like participate this whole incentivized test net program. But the main goal is gonna be the main incentives, the main airdrop will be coming out of the actual participation on the mainnet. And those are probably like something we should really like keen on understanding. Once you actually, I think it's a good point, right? Once you know you're around with the testnet, and once you actually like have the actual the mainnet, you'll basically have the know-how to maximize your rewards. Moving forward, how long will mainnet run? Well, I think it's just until how long we live. The incentives may be like for a certain period. We haven't really like we haven't have materials to share to publicly yet. We have some internal discussion on that. I said mainnet plus the testnet, both participate in the total airdrop. All right, so that's pretty much what we have to share. And then I hope everyone wants to have a feedback. Feel free to forward to Lord. Lord, do you have anything to add? And then we close it.
No, nothing as of now.
I
Stay
see.
tuned,
And
guys.
then-
We'll be launching soon.
Yes, and then also the key thing is to also keep eye on all other L1s too, because especially Cardano, all this very unique chains or something we really want to penetrate strategically. So those are the things we really look forward to. Let us know if you want. Also, I want you guys to specifically engage with the vaults we have, and then also engage with the community within this vaults. I think also if you actually bring the users from Cardano, actual users to stake their ADA, and then I think there's also incentives we can put. I think we should just Sneh here, our co-founder is also here. Can we add Sneh on the call? Hey yo.
Hello.
Hey. So
you can hear me all right? Perfect.
Loud and clear.
Excellent.
So actually, Sneh, should we just because we usually have a team call after the community call. Why don't we just have extend the this town hall conversations with the community? What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine. I think I caught a little bit, like maybe 10, 15 minutes. I caught the last 10, 15 minutes of the town hall. But other than that, I think you covered everything I was going to say. But if you guys have any additional questions, let us know.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of chats coming up in the chat. Let's see, because we are kind of touched on how we want to incentivize testnet plus mainnet user in terms of airdrop participation. So what do you think? How should we approach to this? Just out of pure brainstorming session. We don't have anything concrete to finalize it yet, but just want to see where we could do it in ways that makes most of the people happy. So it's impossible to make everyone happy, but we just have to see it from that angle. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean we're gonna cook up something that is gonna provide the most benefit to our users, especially when it comes to mainnet participation. I think we're gonna have something a little bit more than just like a point system for active contributors and active builders on Helix, and we're gonna have something really, really unique and incentivizing.
Yeah, because I think if some of the users have used this product, there is basically points. There is people who actually accumulated billions of points, right? And then that's kind of all unfair for the users who actually tested the same thing, but also wants to so they tried every angles how to maximize Eigen5, but using just smaller deposit faucets, right? But there is users, for example, who wrote specific bots per se to get the faucet at the same time, and then so on and so on. So, and I think those are the kind of cases we really need to sit down and think too. What do you think? And how those are the kind of things we also just openly discussing right now.
Yeah, and we could really take a page out of similar staking and restaking solutions across the pond and on Ether, right? Whether you look at Ether or Solana, um, they all have really unique incentive structures, especially to whale depositors, right? Depositors that either deposited extremely early or depositors that have a certain volume, right? Um, so obviously that we have to make sure that we're giving appropriate credit to those extremely early adopters on Helix, and of course we have to match those sort of large depositors. So yeah, that's basically where we stand right there.
I think that's an excellent idea. I think also we should set the criteria, not only just how much the user has accumulated those certain points, it's also like when they've started to participate, and then what are the other things they did, and then set as many as categories, and then we kind of incentivize. But also, I actually like the people who did this, like specifically took their trouble to write a bot and then make that bot to work. So, and also we can just in terms of the size of the points from the previous specifically I'm talking about the EVM and the other vault users, right? We can include into normal distribution and then set at 3 parameters and then allocate certain percentage there. So just to make sure that people are also acknowledged based on how much their points they collected, but it's not going to be the entirety of the criteria. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes, agreed. And of course, I think one of the most exciting things is probably what we're going to be doing for this entire depositing incentivization for mainnet. I think what we're going to have is a really robust referral system. So if you refer and you promote and you advertise Helix Labs, whether you have your own community or whether you're interacting with somebody else, we could have like this 2-tier structure that, hey, all of the people that you attract, and if any of them deposit, some of those points will basically trickle up to you. So it's essentially, your hard work will be rewarded. So if somebody that you attract, puts in a significant amount of tokens or assets on Helix, in our Helix vaults, then you would get the similar benefit. Not similar benefit, but referral benefit as the depositor. So you work hard for us, we work hard for you, essentially.
Yeah, I think I'm Mongolian, so I very firmly believe in meritocracy. Someone who is actually good at something, we should reward those people. And then those are the things also we should keep in mind. Not just setting this criteria one indicator. I think even when you're in school, right? They whatever the grade you have isn't entirely speaks who you are and how good you are on certain things. I think also we have to see from the many different angles. And obviously, like I said, the normal distribution for giving weight on those users is I think is a good, because I think people who actually took a trouble to have accumulate all these points are actually smart, and I think we should reward them. But it's not going to be the only criteria that we're going to set for the entirety of the airdrop.
Yes, agreed. I think, I think Zach is absolutely right. The only criteria a lot of communities or other projects use is basically only asset based. Like you deposit, you get tokens, but there's so many different ways, that we could grow this community in order to bring Helix to its fullest. So active contributors to this community, to our community, will be rewarded on such base, right? Whether that be deposit referral, or hey, I found out through Helix Labs through a friend, and that's why I'm here. So having unique links for people that click on the website and eventually register or linger on the website, not just visiting, but lingering on and learning more. Or, hey, follow Helix Labs. Here's Helix Labs, and here's a unique URL link where, oh, wow, now your community is following us on Twitter. Just active participation in the community. And of course, we love your feedback. I think we're getting a lot of good criticism on the testnet, which we absolutely love. We're absolutely taking a deep look into each person that comments on and has valuable feedback on the testnet. And of course, as we develop our testnet, we'll have a more robust bug bounty program as well. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that we could credit people that are actually active in the community, and of course, build out the community, not just through deposits, but through active contributions.
Exactly. And then just a quick, and also like I think it's also would be good in the download, because we are not, I guess that's CDK provider, or we kind of because we are essentially a DApp, but we are very modularly sophisticated DApp in a way. So I think it's not that we can't have for example, if there is a couple people from the Helix community team up and then build another DApp that kind of works in a synchronizational way with Helix vaults, I think those are the things also we should put into a very good close look too. So if you are a developer who wants to develop your own DApp that also makes sense with Eigenfi, and then also the other Eigenfis across, and then using the interoperability solution that we're doing with ICP, and addition to that also works with the AVS kind of framework. Those are the things, very open interpretation. I think anyone who are actually thanks. I think we should definitely publish an extended roadmap, but we have those roadmap. I think we should share too. So if you are a developer who also wants to build your own DApp and then make sense with Helix dApps, I think we should also encourage that. So that's also what I'm thinking, just open and loud.
Absolutely. And, just like liquidity is siloed, developers and community are siloed the same way. It's very hard for liquidity to move from Cardano to Movement to ICP and these other side chains that we utilize, right? Without going through, bridges or centralized exchanges. But it's very detrimental to the asset that you actually came from. So if you're moving assets from Cardano to Move, obviously there has to be a buy-sell liquidity side on the bridge. So, and there's lots of crazy fees, and of course the community doesn't know. I wouldn't say that, for example, Cardano community is very knowledgeable about what's going on Movement Lab side, right? What's going on Move side, and the Move side community isn't really aware of what's going on with ICP. And of course, there's different key opinion leaders or KOLs in each of these different assets, right? And there's usually you're only following a few of these different chains. So this is why, as Helix, we have a challenging but very rewarding role in this space where we could kind of bring these distant communities together, right? And that's kind of the motto why we named our company Helix in the first place, right? It's a double helix, or different parts of this DNA that basically comes together. Yeah. So that's exactly where we're taking it. And I love what Zach said about developer interest, especially on Helix, because again, whether you're a Cardano developer, an ICP developer, or a Move developer, you're usually expertise in one area. But with Helix, we're trying to essentially cross pollinate into different assets and manage and develop in a broader scheme or a broader stage of blockchain, which is Helix Labs.
Yeah, I think you just nailed on it. And then just to shed a light, right? Because previously I also individually tried to do something very technical by myself, and then also later on with Godstack and then other developers, we tried to do this very sophisticated technical development, but sometimes those individual pursuits doesn't really yield result because you need a strong community and also liquidity. So I think Helix, we are solving this very inherent problem, which is this financial layer, but we are not just a specific one location layer. And the fact that we're building these vaults on different chain is also introducing this merit-based system. Which vault, which liquidity pool has better performance? And those, for example, the liquidity pool on Cardano have a very strong community, or liquidity vault on Movement, very strong yield-bearing features. And then addition to that, they can build their own AVS. For example, I looked into symbiotic AVS today, and then AVS are basically this almost if you are AVS, you're basically a lord with this certain territory, and then you decide whatever the shared security you want to provide. And I think this shared security model is a very strong thesis. I think what we are trying to do is that not only just we advocating this liquid staking or liquid restaking, we actually solving this big financial layer problem, and then we inherently incentivize all these different innovations happening on different chains to be freely participate without just you completely delegating your entire life or to your in specific chain. It's wherever the winner pool, winner liquidity out there, I think that drives the market. And then I think it's just in the long shot, it's a very good things that we actually can do with this framework that we are pushing.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I think we would love to some kind of getting this proposal from the developers who wants to participate in whatever the way you want to imagine. I think that's overall very good. And then also I think we should definitely focus on this expanded roadmap as well. I think we definitely pivoted a lot from this uni rollup concept ever since. And I think those are things are getting way clearer now.
Yeah, and I think especially as Helix Labs matures into a more functional product, we're also looking at these chains to be more functional, right? Like, for example, even though Cardano is I would say an old chain, 7-8 years, they're making huge pivots to keep up with Ethereum and Solana, and so is ICP. And of course, we all know that Move mainnet isn't quite up to speed yet, right? Transactions are slow, and there's a lot of community feedback on Move mainnet as well. And so, as all of these different chains become more mature and more functional and usable for developers, and of course there's huge initiatives for that, I think where Helix Labs stands at a really interesting position to also benefit from that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a good point. So I think we let's give maximum 9 minutes to the town hall, and if anyone who wants to jump on and then also express what do you think, it's a open floor. And if not, I think we also good to close it as well. So yeah, I think Lord also have a very good understanding where the teams reasoning behind those this incentivized testnet, and then also a contingency plan. Not within contingency, but more of a expanded plan within the mainnet, how we want to incentivize users. And we would appreciate if you guys are actually maybe just you pick up a certain chain. It could be Cardano, it could be ICP, and then you just dive in from behalf of Helix, and then interacting with the community, and maybe you just build something on that. Well, how does it sound? I think that's actually a good way to penetrate those ecosystems.
Yes, completely agreed. And as we, launch more of these different vaults, I think we're going to have basically community leaders upon each chain. So, for example, if you're really interested in, the Cardano vault on Helix, please make sure to reach out to us. And, if you'd like to lead that community incentive or community push on the Cardano, because, there's only so much bandwidth any company has because what Helix is really trying to do is essentially hit every single chain, right? I mean, that's the eventual goal, right? Is to bring together every single chain in our cross staking and our new mechanism that we're trying to set up, right? This cross liquidity play that we're trying to set up.
Exactly.
So we're really relying on you guys and the community really to push that forward, right? And of course, any sort of feedback or any sort of community incentivization that you guys come up with, of course, that will be rewarded in the future as well.
Yes, and then also I think the luxury we have is that when we work with the teams like ICP or they are invested hundreds and hundreds of millions of R&D into their tech, and then we basically leverage those years of experience. It not only just sucking out of their key things. We also the winner takes it all kind of methodology. So even forcing those chains to be more modular, I think that's a net positive for the users as well.
Yes, absolutely agree.
And even Cardano guys, there is oh my god, the TVL and then the value they have is tremendous. So come up with excellent strategy, build, and then as a dApp, so we can collaborate together. I think it's a dApp to dApp relationship is very good, because we're not trying to become this next L1 or L2 even. So we just have this very modular dApp that has this beautiful, almost the trade stations all across this blockchains. So I think that's the kind of a key value that we're bringing. So let's take some questions, and then if everyone's good, I think we're good to close. I think we almost doubled the time we usually go with the town hall. I think, which is a good thing too. So you guys have know more a lot. So share and then talk with your other members. Come up with some suggestions, constructive feedbacks, and we always welcome them.
Yep.
All right, I think we're good. Lord, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah. Let's see if anyone has.
Yeah. But it was a
Let's
great town hall
all
today.
this
Yeah,
on
we
your
literally extended more 30 minutes, but yeah, double the time. But yeah, you guys were amazing.
appreciate it, mate.
All right.
All right,
Sounds
excellent,
good.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so
guys
much.
so much. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Stay tuned,
And
guys. See you in next
Thank
town
you.
hall.
all right, excellent. Ciao, ciao.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining.